everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. I just got done a live video for you guys giving you an update on my grandbaby. So I'd like to just go ahead and repeat it and then put some pictures here for you so you can look at them better. While I was trying to show them to the camera from my phone, they had a glare and I feel like you didn't get a really nice version of the picture. So I'm just going to go ahead and put them at the end of the video so you can see them, and I'll give you a little update about him that I gave everyone during the live show. Now all of you can go ahead and just watch that and you'll get all that information, but I said that I would do that for this one, so that's what I'm going to do. Today I'm going to be doing a dry floral arrangement. I mentioned that I got roses from my son for Mother's Day. Unfortunately, they didn't come to my address, they came to his address. So he hung them up upside down so that they would dry in the form, you know, that they were at the time. And a few days later, there I am picking them up. So I've got 2 dozen roses here. Now, what I wanted to do, I was thinking that maybe I would just hang them upside down because I do have flowers that I've gotten in the past that I've, you know, decided to preserve as dry flowers. And what I do is I just put a little bow on them and then I hang them on the wall. And then what I do is I just snip them after some years go by because they get dirty and they get dusty. I just snip them and I just save a few of the roses with a little note of where those were, who they were from, or what occasion it was. So that's what I tend to do. So I don't mind cutting these right now. I'm going to go and make them into a little arrangement so that you can see what you can do with some dry florals. If you happen to receive some flowers and you want to preserve them. I will say that roses are the best for preserving. Pretty much every other flower, it's already open, so that will dry out, but it would also fall apart. And because a rose is closed, if you receive them closed, this is the best way to preserve them in this particular state, because if they're any open, even if they dry, you hang them up, they're still going to fall off. Okay? So, but if they're closed, they will stay like that for a while. Now, someone asked me during the live video, and I was going to go ahead and look that up, and I haven't done that, but I am going to look up a dry floral spray because I do know that when I used to work at Michael's and I was doing floral arrangements, there was a dry floral spray. It was like a clear sealant, and it was either from Krylon or Design Master. I don't remember, forgive me, but it was one of those. I'm trying to key this in here and I don't see anything coming up yet. Okay, there's some sprays here, but I pretty much think that a lot of these are more like a cleaner for dry flowers. I'm trying to find something to see if there any of these are like a preservative, if you will. I find a lot of them that say cleaner and finishing touch. There is a flower drying kit that you can try. I do remember these. I think I said earlier, and I said it's silicone. It's a Silica Gel is what it is. Let me see. I found a lot of sprays that say either paint, they'll give it some color, but we're not looking for that. Let's see, there's some treatments here, and but I'm going to say that the Silica Gel is a product that comes, and what you'll do is you'll actually immerse your florals, your fresh flower, into like let's say a wedding bouquet, and you want to preserve it. You would completely immerse it in the Silica Gel. So depending on how big of a flower arrangement, or if it's just something small, you may need larger quantities. I do recall that being a little box, and you got a certain amount in them. You would immerse your flowers in there and then put them in the microwave for certain periods of time that the directions suggested, and that would keep the flower in the condition that it was. Now, nothing is ever going to last you years as far as dry flowers are concerned. They're not going to last you years. At some point, they're just going to fall apart. It's just nature. That's what's going to happen. So I suggest that if you do want to preserve something, then put it in a little box or something and put it away. Like what I said, I used to hang them up. I had them hanging for a while, you know, then I would just cut them and just keep just a couple of them as just a reminder of what I got. But I can't say that they're going to last you for years, because I'm very doubtful of that. I've even purchased dry florals from the store you know, that have been preserved in whichever way they had to do that, and they have also fallen apart, whatever it is. I think that the only thing that really lasts like a really long time would be like a eucalyptus leaf, but even still, you know, like twigs, of course they're going to last a long time. They're going to last years, even twigs. But I wouldn't expect something to last very long unless you seal it in a little box, and even still, that will still decompose in some way. So you might find some ashes if you look into the box years and years later. Maybe someone has an answer and says, no, there is a way to do this. If you do, let us know, or if there's a link. You can email me the link, and I can put it in the description box, because I believe that YouTube doesn't allow in the comments for you to put links in there. But if you like put like some little spaces in between, I think you can. But be very careful, you know, if anybody puts any links. I would send them to me. I'll check them out, and if there's something safe, I'll put it in my description box. But anyway, pretty much all you're going to really find are like some sprays that seal, that will either seal, a clear sealant, and I think it was Krylon or Design Master. Design Master is a brand of sprays that I used a lot. I loved using that brand. Krylon had some good floral tools to use also, so those are two trusted brands that I would say that if you come across Design Master or Krylon, those are good trusted brands. Okay, let's move along from that, because I don't find a spray like what I would want to say, look for that and get that, okay? All I see is from Floral Craft Silk Splendor Silk Plant Treatment. They have that as also like a spray cleaner. You spray it, and a lot of that like will dissolve like the dust and such on things. So you might try that. I have used that product before. I did have that at Michael's. I don't see anything. Oh, here's another one. It's from Silk and Splendor Artificial Foliage Cleaner Aerosol Spray. That I found that I'm looking at Amazon, by the way. That is another brand that I recall from Michael's, and that was something else that I have used, and I do know that it does its job. But like I said, years, it's, you know, your flowers, they're gone. Don't count on them clean, you know, like if you're not treating them, you know, often to keep them clean, and you just leave them, don't count on them, these items really cleaning your flowers. They're pretty much, I would say, just put them away in something if you really want to keep them. Okay, moving along from that, I wanted to show you a tool that I have. And so I'm going to move the camera down so you can see the table here and what I've got here to work with, okay? All right, everyone, what I have here in front of me, this is called a stemming machine. Mine is really dirty. It is old. I had it in the garage. It's even got some cat hair stuck on there. It's got glitter, all kinds of stuff on it. But it doesn't diminish its you know, capabilities, okay? It is a very heavy item. It is meant to be heavy so that it does not bounce off of your table when you're working with it, as you're moving this contraption, this little, what would you call this, you guys? This little, help me. Anyway, as you're moving this down, it doesn't move around on you, so it's very heavy. This is from Steel Picks. I'll hold it up like that. Now, I've gone into Amazon to see how much they're worth. I do remember them being close to $300. This particular type of brand, Steel Pick stemming machine, I find it on Amazon anywhere from $215 to $279. So it's a big investment. And I would suggest that if you go to Michael's, because I do know that Michael's carries them, look for them also at Hobby Lobby or craft stores that have a coupon, you know, to offer you. Maybe check Joann's, see if they have it. And if they have a coupon, I would use the coupon. I used a 40% off coupon on mine, by the way. This is an item that never ever was on sale. So, but I did get it with a coupon. Now, this particular item uses a product called, these are Steel Picks. They're Steel Floral Picks. And the box is nasty, you guys, but I'm going to show it to you. I've had it for years. This is a box of 2,000. I've also gone and searched this to find out what the cost is. They're expensive. This little box of 2,000, it doesn't seem like it, but there's 2,000 of them in here, is around about $25 on Amazon. You might find them for a little bit less. I just went to the first one I saw and I looked up. So this particular steel pick is what goes, as you can see, this is dirty, but the picks are still good. This is what goes onto the stems of our flowers. And I will pull out a little bundle They come like this, and they'll be wrapped. And this is what you're going to slide into your machine. I do have some in there right now. I'm going to pull out this part right here. A nice heavy little part. And I've got some already in there. I've already gotten them in there. They're sitting in there. So what I did was slide them in. They slide right in here like so. After I slid them in is when I grab that little paper, and I usually grab my pliers and I grab the little paper and slide it out of there so that they're not going everywhere. I will recommend that you do that rather than trying to remove the paper over here, because they're all just going to go all over the place, and there you are putting one at a time in there. So it's nice to put them all at once, which is what I did with this one. Get a, like I said, some pliers and reach in there and just pinch that paper and just tear it off and pull it off. You might have to do it in 2 or 3 pieces, but it'll come off and the little pins will, or the picks will stay in there. Now what this machine does is that you take your stem and you're going to place it right over here where these little gripping teeth are right here. You're going to place that in there. You're going to slide this out. Let's see, forward, you push it out. You get a pin on here. It's been a while that I've used this, guy, so forgive me if I didn't know what to do right away. Let's grab a stem. So one of these slides out when you push it forward, and then you're going to rest your stem right on to where these little, it's got these little arms right here on each side. You're going to rest your stem right on there, or you can go a little bit further in, not too far in. You don't want to go all the way in, but just go in there like that. Lay that right there, and now instead of going forward, you're going to pull back on it, and it's going to bend those little arms. These little arms are going to get crushed and closed over the stem. So now you're going to have this, and this is great for easy puncturing into styrofoam when you're adding either dry or artificial, like faux silk stems. Those are perfect for that. I'm not going to use this on a fresh flower because it could crush the bottom of the stem and damage it, and it won't, it might not allow for, you know, water to, get soaked into the fresh flower and keep it alive for a while. So I wouldn't use this on a fresh flower. I don't know if anybody has done that. If you have, go ahead and chime in and let us know how that works for you, but I wouldn't recommend this for fresh flowers. So this is just for dry flowers or artificial, your faux or silk flowers, however you want to refer to them, plastic. That is what it's for. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be using. And I had mentioned this before, but I never brought it out. And I had it in my garage, and I can't remember how to put this back on here, you guys. So here I am trying to figure this out. This part here is just to give these steel pins in here weight so that they stay together and they're not being floppy, so that when this pushes one out, it's pushing it perfectly out rather than it kind of flopping around. Goodness gracious, somebody help me out. There we go. That's what gives it some weight to hold them in there. Okay, so I'm going to be using this to do my little dry floral arrangement. I'm going to put this one to the side here. These flowers over here. Okay, I've got my glue gun. You don't have to glue them in because that little steel pick helps a lot. But I've got my glue gun ready anyway, and I didn't even bring anything to put it on. Okay, and I've got this little container here. My goodness. And then it's already got some styrofoam in there. If you didn't have the styrofoam in there, I would drop some glue inside and then push that in. And as you can see, this is a used styrofoam. I'm recycling this whole thing. It has some pretty little flowers. I pull them out so that I can go ahead and put these dry florals because I really like this little can. Or it's actually like a mug or a little cup, or not a little cup, but a huge cup. So I'm going to recycle this. This is a good idea, recycle things that you already have. And then I got this. This was already on there as well. I'm going to reuse it again, maybe to hide some of that after I put flowers. And then I've got these, let me put that in there. I've got these greenery pins here to hold this mossy bit, little grasses, onto the styrofoam. But first I'm going to put the flowers. So the first thing that I do with any arrangement is I decide how tall I want this. Now, because this is all just roses, and I don't know if I want to use them all. I think I probably will, or maybe I'll just save a few on the side. I don't know, because look at the colors on this. And then this one has like lots of like reds, more reds in there. So I need to like either combine them and use them all. It's 24 altogether. But I've got my wire cutters, or you can use like these type of pruning shears that you use in your garden. You want to use that to trim your stems depending on how long you want them to be, or just some good wire cutters will work for that as well. I've got some scissors, some craft scissors, because I need them for something. I don't know if I'll use them, but like I said, I've got my glue gun, and then I've got some glue sticks laying around ready for that. Okay, and of course I've got my steel picks already inserted into my stemming machine. So the first thing I'm going to do is decide on the height, like I said. So let me go ahead and take the rubber band off of these. They came like this. My son ordered them without a vase because he knows that I have a ton of vases. And I could just put them in something that I already like, rather than sending something that was in water and then the water is spilling everywhere. And he knows that I like to put things together. So this is a nice way to send them to me. Okay, I'm going to pick one. I think I'm going to pick one of these red ones. And I'm going to have lots of these little leaves falling off, by the way, because I need to decide on the height. And I usually go to the edge of the table where I can maneuver this up and down and compare it to the container that I'm going to put it in. And if I decide, well, this is the highest point that I want this flower, and then I decide, okay, about 2 inches to go into here or less, because we are putting a pick in there, then I can go ahead and trim that off right there. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and put a pick on it. I'm going to remove some of the leaves on the bottom. And let's see, this one's really droopy, so I'm going to get rid of that. There we go. I used to use this really quick. I used to stem a bunch of these and then put them into arrangements. Anyway, go forward and push, oops, sorry. Push one out. I actually did a lot of moving around here. There we go. Okay, it's not working. Let's find out what's going on. Okay, I was having a little bit of problem because I put this the wrong way. I put it facing that way. The weight should be on here, on this side of the pick, the front part, because when you push it in, when you push it forward, if the weight's not pushing it down, it's not going to push anything through. So you want to make sure that you have the weight. I also have some thorns on here, so I'm going to remove the thorns. So I've already gone forward to push the thing out. Now I just need to wrap it around my stem. So then I go back, and there we go. Look how easily that goes, and how easily you can just poke it into something. But I'm going to put some glue so it doesn't come out. There we go, just like that. Next, now you're saying, well, do you really need these steel picks? No, you don't. You can just go ahead and push your dry stems in there. But what I would do is, when you're pushing a dry stem in, don't push it from like way up here and push it in. Grab it from the bottom here. That way you can give it some stability as you're pushing it in. Because what you could do is you could actually end up breaking it as you're trying to puncture into the styrofoam. You could actually break it, and then you get shorter and shorter every time, or it might break way up here where you're using force with your fingers to push it in. So I would hold it at the bottom, especially when you have those little thin grasses, like dry grasses that they really don't have a hard stem that will push in. You got to grab them from the very bottom. So that's when you decide whether you're going to use your, I was already going to put it in there, you guys. So yes, you don't have to use a steel pick. Okay, so I'm going to go on and put some more in here, and I'm going to go to what I would think would be probably the lowest point, because even though I have 24 flowers, you guys, you put them together like this, it doesn't make a very big bundle. But again, I don't want them this tight together either. But then I don't have any other green or anything to fill in, any other dry, eucalyptus or a fern leaf to fill in. So I want to make sure that it's not too big, because then I would need more stuff to fill it. So I'm going to go small, and this is actually going on my bedside table. So again, I don't need it to be that big anyway. Well, you guys, I ran into some technical difficulties with my stemming machine here. One would work, then another wouldn't work, then it would get stuck, and then I had to use my little pliers to kind of fix it. I'm having some issues with it. Like I said, I haven't used it in so many years, and I don't know how I used to fix the problem. So I'm going to put it to the side, because like I said, you don't have to use that. You can just put your dry stems right into your arrangement. I was having it work, and I was putting the stem on some of these, the steel pick on the stem on some of these, and I was recording. Well, at least I thought I was recording. I guess I wasn't. I looked up just to check the time, and I noticed that the timer wasn't running because I just didn't hit record. Anyway, I think I thought I had left it running is what it was, but I've already got all these in here. So basically what I was doing is I was looking to see where the height and where I would then cut it at. So we're going to go ahead and continue this without having to use the steel pick, because I really want to get through with it and I don't want it locking up on me again. So I want to put one right in here. So all I'm doing is comparing it to the height of the canister here that I'm going to put it in, and then about 2 inches down, that's where I cut. So I'm cutting that off, removing any stems that are close to the bottom as well, and any little thorns. And then of course I would put a steel pick, but I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to go ahead and just do it this way and show you how you can do that without having to use that. Okay, that is a very nice item to have if you want to invest in it. But as you can see, you don't have to use it. So I need something else right here. And I've already used like all the red and the maroon flowers. And now I'm going to use the other colors that I have. This is about the height that I wanted. I've already cut it because I kind of already know, because I've already done all the other ones about the same. And I think I'm going to go ahead, after I've done this, I think I may just head over to Hobby Lobby and actually fill it in with some, like those fern, the dry fern, or maybe some artificial ones, some soap ones will be fine, depending on what I find there. That's all I'm doing, is just filling it in the spaces where I see that it needs a flower. That one's too close to that other one. Let me angle it a little differently. Well, see where I was pushing it way up here? I pushed it so hard that I kind of bent it there. So this is what I mean, that you got to grab it from the very bottom here and push it in. So that's nice if you're just going to make a simple arrangement for yourself at home. But if you're going to do this as a kind of a production thing, then you probably want to invest in this and get to know it really well. And believe me, I got to know it really well, that I was able to fix it. And right now I'm thinking, I know that problem would happen before, I just don't know what it was. And I'm thinking it's probably a screw or something that I have to adjust, and I just don't remember. I just don't remember, guys. And it's okay. If I figure it out, I'm going to pop it out again and show you all again. But I really do think this is going to need some greenery in there. I almost want to grab that artificial greenery that I was already using, that I already had in here. Now, when you're inserting it, you also might hit another stem that's already in there. So that's where you're going to have to decide, okay, I have to go a little bit shorter because the angle that I want to push it in is hitting something else. So now I've got to shorten it so it doesn't hit, or at least it comes right to where that other piece is, but you don't need to go anywhere beyond it. Okay. I didn't bring my little silicone pad for my glue gun. I'm just being lazy, you guys. It's one of those days where you're just lazy, but you want to do a little video. Okay, I'm going to continue adding these, and I'll be back and do my little update. Everyone, I finished putting all the little roses that I want to put in there. Like I said, I do feel like I want maybe some greenery down here, a few little leaves like ferns or something coming out this way, maybe a couple of little grasses sticking out the very top. Of course, you would put whatever you feel you want to put in there. If you feel this is enough, that's good. That's good. I'm going to take that little petal off of there. Okay, so the other thing that you could put is maybe a little bow hanging off of here, and then maybe give it to someone if you wanted to gift it, or just wanted to remember that you got it as a gift. I'm going to take this one leaf off because it's sort of kind of breaking off, and another. Okay, so now I'm going to take this moss pieces that I have here, and I'm going to wrap them around the bottom here, try to hide some of this styrofoam. Tuck it in there. The other thing is because I am reaching in there, and you know, I tend to break some of these leaves off. So now I want to replace them with something else. I mean, you could take some of these dry leaves and also just put a little bit of glue and then tuck them in there if you wanted to. So I'm going to just tuck that in, and then of course I'm probably going to go grab some more from my craft room and then fill it up some more before I actually put it in its final place. And then I'm just grabbing some like that and just sliding it between them. Now you're probably saying, well, why didn't you just put the moss on there before putting the flowers, and then you could just like dig into the moss, you know, like dig into it like that and make a little hole, and then you just stick the flower in there, which would probably be the easiest thing to do. But I didn't. I decided to make it harder on myself. I was actually imagining these flowers a lot further down, a little more closer, a little more clustered, and then I went bigger, deciding that, you know, I might want to put some leaves, some other different leaves in there. So I started making room for them. But, you know, I feel like it looks really pretty. I think it looks nice like that. It's nice and open and airy. You can just imagine a little butterfly flying through the flowers. There's space in there for it to fly. They're not like all bunched up and pressed together, all tight. Okay, so now all I was doing was making sure all these little, you know, I was hiding most, if not all, of the styrofoam. And then I'm taking these little greenery pins and just poking in 3 spots to make sure that moss doesn't come out. Like it holds most of it in. There we go, just like that. And this can be my completed arrangement, or like I said, add some more greenery to it, or some a little bow, or actually some of these leaves, the ones that have some long stems. Tuck them in there. That'll look pretty. All right, everyone, I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up on this. Let me do my little update, put some little pictures up, and that'll be the end of my video. All right, everyone, this is my completed arrangement, as you saw earlier, but here's a different angle so that you can take a better look at it. I think I'm going to put some little greenery leaves in there to maybe complete it, maybe give it a little bit of flow down here as well. Now, I hope that you did get something out of this, and as you can see, it's not that hard to work with dry flowers. The only thing is that you got to grab the stems from the bottom so that you don't break them as you push them in, or use a steel pick machine as I did. But of course, that is a big investment. That's really something if you're really serious about doing floral arrangement. And that, of course, would be used for dry flowers or silk florals. All right, so if you all watched my live video, you know what I talked about, a little update on my grandbaby. If you don't care to know about that, this is my finished product. I hope you like it. I hope that you will give me a big old thumbs up. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe and share on your social medias. And as always, enjoy. Now, if you missed my live video and you want to know about my grandbaby and see some better, clearer pictures, this is the update. He was born on Wednesday, May the 15th, 2019, and it was 11:38 a.m. He weighed 7 pounds, 14 ounces, and he was 20 inches long. He was perfect as far as I'm concerned. Cried right away, and he took to his mama. She fed him right away. He is being breastfed, which I think is the best thing she could have decided for him, and I'm so happy she had no problems. you know, if not, well, there's alternatives to that. But for now, she is breastfeeding. That's what she prefers to continue to do. She is a teacher and she's got the summer off, so she's got about 3 months to make sure that the baby is fed well. All right, so there was a little bit of a jaundice that came, you know, his levels. I'm not sure what levels exactly they're measuring, but he had a little bit of jaundice. They stayed a little bit longer in the hospital than we thought. Just one more day. They thought they were leaving. They were going to leave early on Friday. They ended up staying there, and they actually got out early Saturday morning. So we went to go visit, came back home, and then we ended up going back again when we knew that they were all okay. They were already in their home and everything was fine, that we can come back. So we visited Saturday and Sunday, spent a good time with him. We ended up buying even more gifts, took tons of pictures of him. My son gave him his first little bath. It was really sweet. It was just a little sponge bath, but it was really sweet. He cried. He didn't like being naked. He likes to be clothed and wrapped up. And he's very strong, you guys. I put him in the crib. My daughter-in-law had been telling me this already, but I put him in the crib because I wanted to take some pictures of him in his little crib, you know, with his little suit and the little blanket that was in the crib. And he just wants to turn himself, you know, to one side or the other. Maybe he's looking for something to feed on, but he's very strong that he can actually turn himself almost to his side. So they're keeping an eye on him really well, but he's a strong little boy. And you know, when he was first born, we weren't there yet. I was on Wednesday. So my son just sent us a picture. You know, they're all red and they're swollen, and you know, and everything. And you know, they're beautiful, but you know, they're funny looking. You know, so we were like, oh my God, who does he look like? We're trying to figure it out, and I'm thinking he reminds me of my son. You know, the baby's father. When he was a baby, because you know, he had that little scowl on his little face, and I'm like, the same scowl that I have, and my oldest son and I have that. Well, I think my younger son does too. But anyway, he had that look, and I go, oh my goodness, let me send you some pictures of when you were newborn. You have to see this. He looks like you. So he looks like him, and we're like, oh, we went to go see him again. Yeah, but you know, the more you look at him, and he's, you know, his little face is not swollen anymore. You know, he's getting his own look about him, because you know, babies, they don't quite get their look yet, or you know, maybe weeks later they get, you start seeing, you know, what their characteristics about them are going to be. But he's starting to look like my daughter-in-law now, so we don't know. We don't know. He's beautiful. He's got the gray eyes like any baby that's newborn has, and a little bit of a blue around. We're not really sure what color his eyes will turn. They could be like that for months before they actually turn to his permanent color. And his hair is light brown, golden, lots of blonde on the edges, light blonde eyebrows. You can see the little blonde hairs on his little eyebrows. We are just overwhelmed by him. You know, the way that it turned out is I ended up going before my husband got to go. My husband had a project that he had to finish. He couldn't take off right away. We didn't know he was already going to be coming. This just happened. My son said he might be coming soon, so we got prepared in our mind that it was going to happen on the weekend. But then he calls on Wednesday. It's going to happen. And before you knew it, her water broke. You know, a few minutes later, there was the baby. And I said, oh my God, this baby's going to be born before noon. And I was desperate, you guys. I needed to go. I wanted to go. But, you know, you don't want to impose, but you still want to go. It's my first grandchild. You know, I was excited. Then my son said, yeah, go ahead and head over here. He's already here. So my husband couldn't go right away, but I was going to go on my own. So I said, well, I'm going to drive over there. You can go later and meet me over there. But then I got my mom, because my mom also wanted to go see him. So I told my mom, why don't we just drive super early in the morning? We'll drive up there. We'll visit for, you know, it'll give us a couple of hours at least, you know, to visit him. And then we'll get out of their hair. You know, her sister, her mom can now come in and visit, or whoever wants to come and visit. And we won't put, you know, too much time, and she can breastfeed him comfortably and do, you know, all the other necessary things that have to be done comfortably. So that happened. We got there. We visited for about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. We held him. So I got to hold him for my mom got to hold him for a while. Then I got to hold him for a while, and I got to have that moment that I wanted, and give him little kisses and look at his little feet and his little hands and everything. And it turned out perfectly, because we came home and they weren't able to come home right away. So we didn't want to be there in the hospital, you know, the nurses and all these people coming in, you know, checking the baby, then checking my daughter-in-law, and then giving them instructions, and oh, now the birth certificate, fill this out, and then, you know, all this information that they keep coming in and out, and it really and truly, you know, my daughter-in-law gets no privacy, no rest, and they want to bond with their baby. So it turned out okay that I came home, and then we also were able to take care of the situation with my dog. My mom went ahead and took my dog. She took my dog with her. Well, actually, we dropped her off so she could have her with her in their home, and she took care of her. And then she came over here to check on my cat and feed my cat. So it turned out perfect. My cat's old. I didn't want him going anywhere, so it was great that she was able to come and watch him. And he just needed to, you know, be fed and pet it and leave. Then he's okay. But my doggie, she can't be alone. She needs to have, you know, someone. She already knows my mom, so that turned out perfectly. I don't know if this information is even important, but I'm just repeating what I said on my live video. So then my husband and I were able to finally go on Saturday morning. My son said, oh, we're home now. You can go, you guys go ahead and come. So by the time we got up there, because it takes 3.5, 4 hours to get up there depending on the traffic and such, it's like 280 miles away. So by the time we got up there, they were rested in their home, and they knew we were coming. We brought them, you know, lunch, or actually it was already dinner. We were close to dinner. So we ended up, we didn't bring the dinner. Actually, I think we went and we got the dinner. I don't even remember how it happened, you guys, by the time we got there. Yeah, because by the time we left here, and, you know, we knew that everything was okay to go ahead and show up. And because they were still in the hospital, we didn't know what was happening. And then they finally got, no, we're going home. So it was like 2 o'clock, my husband and I took off. And by the time we got there, it was like 4 or 5 o'clock, and we got into our hotel, we did everything. Then we picked up dinner. We had them choose their dinner. We picked it up, took it to them. So then we spent some time with the baby while they're, you know, holding the baby, so they could sit down, have their dinner, do whatever they needed to do. And then we said, okay, we're gonna go. We'll come back tomorrow, Sunday. You guys, you know, the rest of the evening is yours. We're not gonna be here too late. It was almost 8 o'clock actually by the time we ended up leaving. We went to our hotel, and we were so tired because, you know, the drive and everything, and especially me, I'd gone back and forth. So then we got up on Sunday morning and said, let them have their own time for breakfast. We'll go have breakfast. We'll go to Target. We did some shopping. We actually ended up buying them some things. My son ended up having to buy a new television, so we met him at a Walmart. We actually loaded the TV in our car because it wouldn't fit in his. And then we picked up some meal, and we went over and spent some more time with the baby. So I feel like the fact that I went first and saw him turned out great, because I got to hold him, and just, you know, my mom got to hold him, and then I got to hold him. We had our moments each where we got to hold him and just love, you know, just stare at him and do whatever I needed to do with him, so that now that my husband was there, I wasn't like, no, let me hold him, let me hold him. It was like, you're here now, so you hold him now. So my husband held him for a while, and he got that moment of, I can't believe this. I cannot believe this is a little human, a little person, you know, here. Because he looked so big in the pictures. When my son first sent us the pictures, he looked big, you know. It was like this big baby to us. But when you're there, and he's this little tiny little thing, and it's just a wonderful little creature. And you guys, his name is Leo Christopher Flores. My son wanted to give him his first name as the baby's middle name. And Leo just was a name that he loved. He had heard it in combination with another name, and they were almost going to give him that other middle name. I don't even want to say because it doesn't matter. But he said, you know what, I'm going to give him Christopher, Leo Christopher. And we said, that sounds perfectly fine. Name him. That's your choice. You know, we like the way it sounds. We love it. The more we heard it before he was actually born, we kept saying this name to ourselves, and we really liked it. And sure enough, and so I took some pictures of him with some little lions around. We got him some little lion, little things to, because he's Leo lion. And so I took some pictures. So I'm going to go ahead and post that picture of him that I took with what I'm calling his first little glamour shot. I'm going to put that there. A couple of others, my husband and I holding him, and that is the permission that I have to share. I don't have to share permission to share any more than that, because, you know, it's a private thing. It's our little baby, and we're very proud. So I also got a letter. I have a P.O. box. It's in my description box, you guys. If you want to send me a letter, let me know. If you do not want me to read it on camera, just say, please read this off camera. If you send pictures of any crafts you've done or anything you want to share, if you don't want me to share, please say, please don't show these pictures on camera. I won't, and I won't read your letter. Otherwise, I'm going to open your letter and I'm going to read it, but I won't read it all. I got a letter from Patricia McNally. If you didn't see my live video, I got your letter. Thank you very much. I've read through it all. I love it very much. It's not a super long letter. It's nice length of letter to read. It was super nice to actually have a physical letter to read. It's awesome. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can send an email. It's fine. You don't have to share much of yourself. It's fine. But I like that she did, and it's really sweet. She just let me know she's from Ohio. She specifies here, but I'm not going to tell you guys. She's from Ohio. She loves cooking and crafting, and she loves crocheting and painting and bingo, and I think that's awesome. And she's cooking, and she just basically tells me some really sweet things about herself, and she's really silly. I love this. She says she's a new subby, so thank you so much, Patricia McNally. Am I saying that right? McNally? Thank you so much for sending me this letter. I really appreciate it. I will hold it near and dear to my heart. Thank you so very much. Like I said, my P.O. box is in the description box below. My email is there as well. I would like to get letters, and I would like to get pictures so that I can have like a little mail time and have a little video, read what I can for you guys. So thank y'all very much. Thank y'all for the love and the support and the interest that you put into my becoming a grandmother for the first time. And thank you to the other people for putting up with that, if it was interesting to you or not. I still thank you very much for putting up and not saying anything negative. So thank y'all very much. Y'all have a super day. I'm going to see what I can do for a recipe for Friday, and a little vlog or something else. All right? Have a wonderful evening and enjoy.